Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bela Biz Unplugged. It's your girl, Bela Biz. I'm going to go right into thanking our sponsorship for tonight, Michelle Walker Davis. She's the Principal Chief Director Officer and Principal for Imperial Management Group. Her information is on the slide. Please feel free to give her a call. She has an email address as well as a website. I'm going to say a little bit about Imperial Management Group. IMG specializes in grant development and grant management. They help businesses and nonprofits develop award-winning proposals and secure funding from government, foundation, and industry sources. Michelle's team is here to help you navigate through today's unprecedented situation during the COVID-19 pandemic. And she always says to me, Bella, do you know there is $850 billion in grant funding? Have you applied? Well, team, you know I have. So please take the time, invest your time, and look up Michelle. Michelle Walker Davis, thank you for sponsoring this segment. All right. How's everybody doing out there in Facebook, YouTube land? It feels so good to see everybody. Let me tell you something. I haven't seen you in a week, and guess what? I was hemorrhaging everybody. I'm like, oh my God, where's my people? Where's my people? So without further ado, thank you all for coming today. I counted out on joy, and I know that you could be doing anything and be anywhere at this point in time, but you chose to follow me. So thank you very much. We're in for a treat tonight. So here we go. Y'all know how I do what I do. I got the power couple in entrepreneurship. And for those of you who are looking, you're probably saying, well, where's the other half? That's okay. We'll get into that too. But first, let me introduce you to some of you who may know her and others who don't. Michelle and the other half, Curtis Gibson. They are natives of Cincinnati, Ohio. They met while attending Thomas More College, and they both earned their bachelor's degrees together. Oh, isn't that nice, y'all? In business management and marketing. Michelle also went further, and she earned her master's degree in art and adult education. And they both, like I said, went to Morehead State University. Both Curtis, the other half, who's not here, and Michelle are licensed ministers of the gospel. And additionally, Michelle is an ordained evangelist. Kurt and Michelle are co-founders of Gibson Consulting and Entertainment Group. And we're going to get all into this tonight. They are serialpreneurs. If y'all been on my Facebook page, I gave y'all a little bit of the tea, okay? They have developed so many companies that she's going to talk about tonight, but one in particular is Zone 8. They're known for their excellent and professional production mode, right? They are sought out nationally with the Zone 8 production, which I am a proud member of that. Over the last 15 years, Gibson Consulting Company have, as highlighted one of their entrepreneurs, their nationally productions, and they have done production for the ZELLE Awards, the Dove Awards, the Trumpet Awards, Steve Harvey's Neighborhood Awards, the Country Music Awards, the All-State Gospel Superfest, the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, BET Hip Hop Awards, and Bravos for those who watch Thicker Than Water reality show. Michelle is a highly sought after international speaker and a personal development success coach. So I'm going to get out the way. Y'all know how Bella do what she do. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to some. Others know her as Michelle Gibson. Hey, Michelle, how you doing this afternoon?
Hello, good to see you tonight. And thank you, everybody, for just being here. And thank you for this amazing opportunity.
You are so welcome. Boy, you look beautiful tonight, Queen.
Thank you, Queen.
You're popping in that red, I tell you that. So, Michelle, I am going to set the stage as I always do. And I want the family of Facebook and YouTube to know a little bit about you and your better half. And first, maybe you want to start out by sharing, where's the other half?
Yes, so good evening, everyone. I am Michelle Gibson. I'm excited to be here. My better half, or other half, Curtis Gibson, who is my better half. He got pulled away today, and as we would imagine, he had to go do what he's doing. But it really shows you to the power of partnership that I can continue to go on with the plan and keep things moving. So I'm really excited to be here today and just really share with you anything that may bless you in the area of partnership.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to set the stage. As you all know, Michelle and I go back probably, I want to say maybe 10 to up to maybe 15 years. Michelle, I have absolutely stopped counting.
Yeah,
we have a beautiful relationship together. And I actually met Michelle while on set because we both lived in that production TV award show world. And I met Michelle originally when I was working with the Trumpet Awards. Michelle and her team came down because she's out of Tennessee, and I'm going to let her talk about herself. But she came down, to work the show in Atlanta. We kind of met, hooked up, energy just kind of went pow, explosive, and we've just been hooked together ever since. And so, Michelle, let's set the stage. Let's paint some pictures tonight. Let's free some souls. Let's just talk about, the topic. Hey, where it says where two or three are gathered in business, there I'm also in the midst. I'm throwing that in. So take it away and let's talk a little bit about Michelle and Curtis.
Yes. So with Curtis and I, we did start, we started actually with Gibson Consulting and Entertainment Group, which is a premier consulting and motivational speaking company. And from there, we just kind of dove into other areas where our gifts led us. And a part of that was where the problem was. So people would call and ask us to solve certain problems. And then that opened up a window and a door for us to go in. When we got into entertainment, I'll talk about that first with you, it was such a connection because we only wanted to help connect people to other people. And I'll say that initially because that is a thread of everything I do, even to this year in 2021. And when we were trying to connect people, it was because we were working on the marketing team with Ben Tankard, who is the godfather of jazz, and he happens to be our pastor. And so he had asked us at the time if we could get some volunteers because the Stellars were coming to Nashville. And because I worked in an environment, I used to work in higher education. I love people. I was able to connect people and able to gather like 50 volunteers in a matter of a week. Fast forward, they were like, can you get us more? I was able to get 300 in like a month. And they were like, hey, wait, can you come and work with us? And so I went in and I worked in that department, which was an audience. All I wanted to do was just be around everybody, right? And to just kind of learn. But as God would have it, though I was a vocalist myself, I was really just trying to learn an industry, a new skill, a new opportunity. And because of that, it just grew into this company that we have now, where we have over 1,600 volunteers and we have a core staff of 20 people, which you are one of those. I'm so grateful to it because this power of partnership, Curtis and I opening the door and being obedient to go through the door that was open for us and then opening the door for other people has really caused this synergy of advancement for so many other people. And I believe that's why we're here in the earth, is to really do a work that creates advancement, whether it's soul winning, whether it's advancement in careers or in family. And so when you and I met, it was so cool because the very first thing when we finished working that first night, you said to me, and I don't know if you remember this, you said, I want to work with you. You hugged me, you had your arm around me, and you whispered in my ear, I want to work with you. And it was something like you said, that instant connection that caused me to say, yes, I want to do this too. So I was looking for opportunity of where I could actually bring you in. Again, where two or three are gathered together in business, we have now been able to create something that's amazing and have greater opportunity.
Wow. Listen, wow, I'm just in awe because sometimes you can be in the moment, in the picture, and not absorbing it. So, oh my God, you got to share more. The audience is coming in. They're loving it so far. So, Michelle, continue on your journey because that was, I think, 2007, 8, not sure of the time frame, but continue. I'm intrigued.
Yes, it was approximately 2008. At that time, we had already been, as a group, Zone 8, right? We hadn't actually had a name though at that time. So it was so amazing because we were just going along as people in production. And I will tell you the power of partnership. I'm going to, if you allow me, I want to go here real quick and just give you some benefits of the importance of being in a partnership because it speaks to the story. 3 things that I learned about being in partnership with my husband and being in partnership with people like you and every other area of my life is that it's so important because it opens the door to closer teamwork. And what I mean with that is 3 doors it opens. The door of closer teamwork, the door of learning, so you open your mind to learn more, and then the door of open channels of communication. So had I not been open to the doors that were before me, I couldn't develop these partnerships. So in 2008, when you came along, at that time, I had like 10 people. And I've got to give honor to my line sister, God rest her soul, Carmen Myrick. I was a one-person machine working the Stellars, and she was seeing everything that I was doing. I had moved the second year to backstage and into the talent department where my husband was still in audience. And while I was there, we didn't know he was building a team in audience and I was building a team in talent. But it was the open door. 2 or 3 gathered together and the doors were opening. So while I was back there, Carmen says to me, we call each other Sans, of course. If you're in Greekdom, you know what that means. And she said, Sans, you cannot do this by yourself. You need a team. And voila, it was like the light went off for me, because I would literally spend all morning, and then when the rest of the staff and production team were going home, I'd still be there waiting, working until like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And so when I got that revelation, you need a team, I was able to go in and put 10 index cards on a wall, and I wrote the names of the departments that I needed people to serve in, and God filled them. The following year, here you come, and he expanded. So it's just really the power of partnership. And as we go forward, now here we are, we're starting now with our new team with 20 people in the core team, and all the things that we planned for 2021 could not have happened without the power of partnership. And that's just in the Zone 8 department or brand of our business.
So Michelle, for you and I that know the language, I'm just going to take a little bit of time to educate really success, right, as we know it, a little bit about just not a high level overview of when we do these award shows, these TV award shows. You mentioned a couple of words that I know the audience doesn't know. She said audience. What does she mean by audience? What's some of these, but just to help, because who knows, that's listening out there. They may be one of our volunteers for 2021, right?
Yes. So audience is the front of the house or the auditorium. And so there's a lot of moving parts that go out there. And what we are responsible for is generally we're responsible for gathering the volunteers for seat fillers. And so we manage, several hundred people who come in to work. Shout out to all the shows we do in Atlanta, nationwide, but Atlanta and Las Vegas and Nashville come through for us like crazy, right? And so it's like we have all these hundreds of people that come out that we have to train what they can and cannot do. Thus the name of our company, Zone 8. They know there are certain things they can't do, or they will end up in Zone 8, which actually means that you leave the performance and you're not allowed to come back with us.
So Michelle, stop right there. Everybody knows Bella always in that teachable moment. So I even have people say, what's a seat filler?
So a seat filler is a person who actually takes the seat of one of the performers or presenters. So it's a celebrity or some professional sponsor or something like that. And they have to go to be a part of the show. And so we fill the seats so that when the camera pans by, there are no empty seats, and it really looks like this show was really full. It makes it feel like it's engaging in your home. It doesn't feel like something was missing. So it's an important role, but it is also a role that some people will say, oh, that's a no-brainer, but it takes a lot of paying attention because everything happens so fast. If it's a live show, we only have certain seconds when we can move you out of that seat to get someone back in. If it's a pre-recorded show, we still only have seconds because we can't be there all night. So it's really about listening and being a part of a major team that produces a small part of the show. And I really love it because what we've been able to do is, if you've ever worked in different productions, sometimes the production teams may not be as sweet and nice and honorable and professional as you want them to be, because there's a lot of pressure back there. But we have prided ourselves on making sure that every single person knows that they matter and they count. We can do this job, this high level, high intensity, but treat people with respect. And so we have this formula called ICE, which means we treat people with courtesy. We treat people with integrity. We do the right thing when no one's looking. And we make sure that we treat people, we walk in excellence. So excellence, no, I got that out of order, didn't I? Integrity, courtesy, and excellence. That is how you spell ICE.
We ICE for people. So yeah, thank you for that. Because I still get, Linda, how do I get on? Put me down with Zone 8. You got to understand what we do first, people, okay? Go,
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes. And even with that, if someone's like, oh, I would love to do that, it is like one of Curtis and my absolute pleasures to give people the opportunity to work with us. Whereas some people would say, oh, I wish I could get that opportunity. We're saying, hey, we want to give you that opportunity because we feel like God opened this door of partnership for us to extend it to other people, right? And so for us, it's like, whoa, we get the opportunity to allow people access to see celebrities that they love, and then also to experience shows that they may have watched on television. So for us, it's just a blessing. It's a win-win situation. And so we do that by the first thing you have to do, you can go to our website, which is Zone8Productions with an S.com, or you can go out to our Facebook page, again, Zone8 Productions, and ask to get it, become a part of that group. It's a closed group, but when we see them, we absolutely let people in.
So, Michelle, let me ask you this, because I talk about you team all the time. How do you and Curtis really actually, I know it's always the thought first, the seed is sown, we water it, right? We plant it, we water the seed, and it grows. So how do you and Kurt get into the whole entrepreneurship / serialpreneurship? I know you into this business. Did you have like regular jobs, 9-to-5 gigs? What?
So, okay, so our journey was that I've always known that I wanted to be a business owner. I just didn't know what that looked like, okay? And my gifts and talents are things that always keep me in the forefront, even though if you really, really knew me at night, you'd be like, I'm very more introverted. You call that an extroverted introvert, meaning I like my quiet time, but I knew I was supposed to be out there, right? My dad owned a business when we were coming up. He owned a barbershop. And so I'd already seen it. My grandmother owned property. So it was in me. I knew it, but I just didn't know what it was. Fast forward, after I had a very, very challenging time when I worked at, in corporate America, I worked for the largest auto insurance company. They still are today. So you can kind of guess what that was. And as I was working for them, one day I had this claim that came across my desk. Someone had an accident. And when I opened up the folder, it was a mother and a father who were the same age as my mom and dad. And they had 4 children. You know, I grew up, I have 10 siblings altogether, but 4 of us grew in a house together. And so the same amount of kids. And then there was a picture of these grandkids. And when I read further, I realized that the mom and dad had died in the accident.
Oh,
a young boy was coming home from college and he crossed over the median and fell asleep and hit them. And in that moment, it was so tragic for me because I love people. And all I could do was realize that the only thing I could do for them was open up the claim, give them the full claim, and close it out. But I could never put them back. Could never give their parents back. That weighed on me so much. I go home and I call my parents and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not making the impact that I want to make. Fast forward, God would allow me to go into higher education where I would get to work with young people and help shape their visions and their futures. And I knew I was purpose driven. And so that was so amazing. And we moved from Ohio to Tennessee. And when we started looking in Tennessee, I came across the college that I would work here in Middle Tennessee, and we drove past the office, Power of Partnership and the Power of Prayer. We drove past the office, and I said, I want to work in that building one day. I get an application, I apply. It's not for that building. It's a whole different department. But guess what? They had these satellite offices, and my office was in the building that I said I wanted to work in.
What?
So fast forward, I'm living now what I think is my dream. But I knew in the back of my mind, there was still that I got to get out of here, right? So I began to get very restless, even though I had the most beautiful, when you looked outside of my office, the view was right into the courtyard between the College of Business North Side and the College of Business South Side. So I could see all the birds and the flowers, and it was just so pretty. And classes, kids would take classes out there. It was just wonderful. But I always longed to be out there and not in my office. And so I started writing 2008, didn't know what it meant. But as I was writing it, I began to get more disturbed. So I told my husband, I've got to get out of here and I've got to start this business. This is like 2006 now. So I've already done Stellars, right? I've already done, I think at that point, 2 years of Stellars. And that was kind of part-time. And so then I'm trying to get out of there. And he's like, you got to wait. I started taking Titus 2, 3, and 4. One of my
Yeah.
girlfriends gave it to me, and I said, I am a Titus 2, 3, and 4 woman. I'm the maker of my home, all this stuff, And if I could do all of these things, then God would set me up for the blessing that He
Come
had
on.
for me, right? And so I stayed. And by August of 2008, I was coming home, and I began this business part-time. By January of 2009, the bottom fell out of everything. It was the end of 08, right? We had that recession. Obama was in. He was trying to catch everything up, all that. And I come home, my husband comes home on the day that I'm leaving out to go on a speaking tour, because the other part about it was I'd already been speaking part-time. So I knew I had something to offer. So I go out for a speaking tour. He meets me at the door and tells me he's been laid off.
Wow. Come on. Come on.
So for me, I'm thinking, oh, this is so great. You came home to see me off. I'm going to be gone a couple days. You're going to have the girls. It's going to be great. I'm going to miss you. You're going to miss me. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to miss you, but I just got laid off. And immediately we didn't panic, right? The power of partnership. When you're in partnership with the right person,
Come on.
you can actually make it through any storm. This does not necessarily have to be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be a partner. It could be a girlfriend. It could be anything. When you're in a right partnership, when challenges come, you immediately can calm each other down, right? We were able to really stop for a moment. We prayed, and immediately God starts saying, make this call, do this and do that. And after we prayed, we did that. And I walked out the door, went on a 3-day tour speaking in the foothills of Kentucky, right? With very limited coverage. And I knew my husband was at home trying to figure all this out. But God had it where we couldn't even hardly talk to each other, but yet He was talking to us. The power of partnership. When 2 or 3 are gathered, He was the third one in there. So when I got home, everything was everything. It does not mean that it has been a joyride the whole time. But what I understood about business is that when God gives you a passion and a purpose for something, you could be at the bare bones. I mean, we had saved so much money to start this business. When he got laid off, come on, we had to flip and do a whole bunch of things for a year or two, right? But we never gave up. And that was the beauty of it.
Yeah, so Michelle, my audience know me. Oh, here come Bella coming on up in here. So audience, y'all got to hear the story, right? What are we hearing? We're hearing passion. What are we hearing? We're not hearing naysayers. We're not hearing what other people are saying. Are we looking for validation? No. When you got the burning beside, I'm telling you all don't know Michelle the way I do, but this woman right here, she stays lit 25/8. And I mean that. And I'm saying to you all, when you got your passion, when you got your drive, it don't matter what's going on. It don't matter who's saying what. You run with it. Michelle and Curtis are the epitome. Hear me, hear my voice. Y'all know I don't play games and I do not lie. The Spirit of the Lord is on me. When you have your passion, wherever you are, whatever, what you doing, and it continuously flow and it's burning in you and you don't feel satisfied and you feel uncomfortable, hey, check this story out. And did she get validation from her husband? No, she did what thus said the Lord. The Lord met her where she was. Her husband comes in. Come on, Michelle. We talking real life up in here. We didn't go do the business plan. We didn't go out for the grant or the loan at that time. We just knew what we knew. Continue. Keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. As I got out here and I began to talk about, Lord, what is it that you would want me to do? We were focusing in on what's the next part of the vision. And that is why it's so critical to be in the right partnerships, right? Because sometimes we get in partnerships with people who at the moment, the shiny new thing, we want to follow every shiny new thing that's out there. And I've been guilty of it, even as I've pursued this business, right? I say to myself, sometimes I could have been way further than I am, but I was chasing this, that, and the other. But sometimes my chasing of this, that, and the other had to do with my purpose, but it wasn't the right time, right? So what I had to do is begin to backtrack and focus. And God showed me. People started asking again, problems came up. We were able to solve them. The next problem that came up was, okay, I started out and I had been speaking since I was 17 years old. I started speaking part-time for another company. The best way I can say it is monster.com, right? There's something else now. Okay, so I was an independent speaker for them. And then I was speaking on my own, going to different colleges and high schools. And then people started saying, wait a minute, if you left the university and you started a business, can you show me how to start a business? Thus, I became a business coach. And I began to just show people what I did, and they were able to master it. And some people like far exceeded what I was doing at the time, but it was just the tools. I gave them tools and strategies that they could use, right? That they could scale. And so I began to do that. And then years will pass again. Zonate is continuing to grow. And so is the speaking. And then women would say to me, because most of my clientele, I probably had like 30% men, 70% women. And so I will tell you about the power of partnership, because partners will help you to slow down.
Yes.
And reassess.
Yes.
Because at one point in my business, I was seeing 30 clients a month, individual.
I remember.
Woo! You're talking about someone who was becoming burnt out on the passion that I loved, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, but I love this. I was not using a system.
Right. Come on now.
Because when you have a system and work the system works.
Come on.
Well, I had to renew my system, renew my mind, and transform my mind and my thinking. And so as we were working with the entertainment, we were working with speaking, we were working with business. And then all of a sudden, ladies were saying to me, wait, I cannot take another business class with you because I'm stuck. I can't figure out who I am, what's going on with me. How do I find my voice in my office so I can even get out of here? How do I figure out, how do I make more time for myself? It was just so many stuck questions. And so I began to put together a mastermind class for women to teach them how to get unstuck. And then the book came, Get Unstuck and Become Unstoppable. And then the group came. And then the conference came. And so now I'm into my third year of doing the conference. So this movement has been growing for the last 4 years. But I have not stopped working entertainment. I have not stopped speaking, and I have not stopped coaching in business. I've just added speaking to women in an Unstoppable Connection Women's Empowerment Group.
I love it. So audience, you know, I always say, get the notepads, get the pens, get the iPads, get the iPhones, get the Androids, get whatever. I'm going to slow it down a little bit because, my God, this is a really great conversation. I am already full, but I want the audience to understand, for those who are out here, you don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. And tonight's topic is, we're talking about the power in entrepreneurship. We're talking about where 2 or 3 are gathered in business, but we're talking about connection, and we're talking about teamwork. And I'm telling you, as I talk to so many people during this pandemic, as we know it, there is so much opportunities out here. And I'm encouraging those who are down, don't feel good. I lost my job. I'm not doing well in my business. I don't have a business. I need to pivot. Hey, it's all cool. And I'm not minimizing any of that. But what I am saying tonight, just based off of Michelle's testimony, her story, you know, we all got that drive in us. We all do something every single day. I don't know what it is in your life, but it is something that you do sweatless. It's like brushing your teeth and drinking a glass of water. I'm telling you, take your time, check yourself, see what's going on in your current life. Let's make something out of it. So continue, Michelle. This is very powerful because I want people to understand. Sometimes we get in business thinking we got to have a business plan. Not against the business plan. We do need one. We got to have a structure. We got to pose it. We need that. I got to get the money. Whatever. But when it's burning in you, first we need to identify, right, what we're doing. And more importantly, I always share with the audience, Michelle, identify with what do you do all the time that is sweatless, that you don't think about, that you would do if there was no money involved. That is, to me, the key question. So, Michelle, take us down your journey some more.
Well, I think you hit on something really cool, too, because with the, let's say, the business plan, and I call that Business Basics 101, right? And in that business development piece, there are some things that we were doing, like business plans, getting our EIN number, all that, becoming registered, a LLC, all that, you know, incorporated. We were doing that. But at the same time, because the business was coming We worked the business based off of what we knew to do, and we were still working the fundamentals, getting all the foundational pieces together. Sometimes people have the time, and I recommend if you have the time to get it together first, do that. I teach my clients that. That wasn't my testimony. It was like we were riding this wave to get it all at the same time. So the other point is, if the business is coming, take the business. Don't turn it down. If you're the expert at something, right? You are the content expert of something that other people don't have. And here's the other part. Even if there are people who do what you do, I started out speaking on pursuing purpose passionately, right? And when I was doing that, I wasn't the only person or the first person to talk about purpose.
Right.
I wasn't the first person to talk about vision boards 12 and 13 years ago. It became popular, right? But I had to hear it somewhere too. I had to experience it somewhere too. It had to come up in my knower, and then I had to do it, right? And then I was able to teach it. You have something that you can give, right? But as you're giving, please make sure you do have the foundation, because if you don't have a firm foundation, you will fall. And I've had to pivot many, many times in this business as to what are we doing this year? Seriously, when 2020 hit, I fly a lot forward, right? I still was speaking as I was building the connection of women. And I became another speaker, contracted speaker for another company, as well as my own stuff. And the company, Rachel's Challenge, love them, look them up. They are the family of the girl who was killed in Columbine, Rachel Scott. And so I was a speaker for them. It was about between 30 and 35 of us running around the country speaking for them. And we were going internationally speaking for them. And I basically, when COVID hit, this is the power of partnership to pivot now, okay? When COVID hit, I had just come off the road from San Diego. I was spending the last 2 winters in San Diego, and I had come home just to make calls to let the next set of schools know I was coming, right? I make one call, and the lady says, we're not having it. Make another call. By the 4th call, the counselor's like, listen, there's something going on in the country, and we just got notice that the whole San Diego school district has been shut down. So you won't be coming back out here to any school. My whole winter, that was March, the first week of March.
Right.
My whole March, April, and May was gone. And then let's flip over, and then fall came, and we still weren't back. What was I to do? I had to pivot. And guess what? The ladies of the connection, they needed someone to stand in the gap for them. We all were experiencing it. And so God shifted my focus to help women more effectively while I'm still speaking, right? I've been doing things like what you're doing, what you have me doing right now. I've been speaking at different events virtually, and I've had one live event.
Wow. During the pandemic, right?
And everything else has been virtual, right? I even hosted my second conference, which, the praise God, you were a part of that, and you were dynamic. I hosted that virtually. It was virtual and live. Several of the speakers were live, and then several were on like you were virtual, and then we had all virtual audience. It was a great hybrid experience. But what did God show me? The power in partnership to pivot. My team would not let me sit down when I was like, well, I don't know if people will come. I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to keep going because this mission is important. So when you get the right people around you, the mission will cause you to pivot, and the doors will still open for the pivot.
Right. So fam, check this out, because we all parlaying through this thing called life, and we're still in the middle of this pandemic. And for those, stay encouraged, because we all pivot, shift, move, gotta weave and bob and do something to keep those lights on, to keep those bills paid, and keep those shoes for those babies and the milk, right? Very, very, very important, because we know we are not going to sit back and depend and wait on a government check to see us through. We got to be creative. So Michelle, talk a little bit about, because you're doing great. I was going to ask you about the COVID-19, how you're doing. It's about pivoting. You know, you got to tighten up some things. I don't think people know that you are a family woman. You are a wife. You are a mother of 2 amazing daughters that I love. I like to say my godchildren. Yes. Michelle is in Tennessee, by the way. I'm in Atlanta. Y'all know I'm in the ATL. Michelle's in Tennessee. So Michelle, what does life look like in the COVID? But more importantly, merging you and Curtis, talk about your other businesses, because I do want people to know that you are a serialpreneur and what that means.
So let me just backtrack a little bit, because when COVID hit, we also were experiencing some major medical issues with my husband, right? So there were some things that he had to sit on the sideline for. But what God did is that he allowed my husband to be available for my children, as you say, speak of my children. And so we have two amazing girls, a college senior and a college freshman. Well, at this time, we had a high school senior, and who very much needed me, but I couldn't be there a lot of the time, right? And then when COVID hit, we both were here, but he couldn't do as much. As God would have it, praise God, he is healed and he is back on his feet. And so now we're in the place where during COVID, we shifted to, now what is it that we're going to do for 2021?
Yes. Yes.
I will tell you the same things that you did for 2020, the world, the economy, the problems that need solving. There are so many problems that need solving. They're continuing to change. And people who are afraid of change, afraid of the setback, afraid of my husband, having to do that major surgery in the middle of a pandemic, and thanking God that he came out of the hospital without COVID, right?
Wow.
It was just like amazing. And to see how it took him weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to be able to come back out of the house. But now he's up, right? And one of the things we're doing now is we're shifting into podcasting. So that's the next big thing. And that with the podcast, it's called Now That's Unstoppable. And we are interviewing men and women and just amazing influencers who are doing it at a great level, even if they're famous or not famous. So we've got some news anchors, we got some celebrities, we've got some authors, we got a wine distillery person. So we've got all these different people, because one thing that we always say is that we say this to our volunteers, every single one of us, we have no time to be starstruck. So I say this to the people who are on here tonight and who will see this in replay. You have no time to be starstruck to the person who is in your field or who you look up to, whether they are a celebrity or whether they just got a promotion or whether they're their executive or whether they're the pastor or whether they're the whoever they are in your life. Maybe they sing and they may sing a little bit. You have no time to be starstruck, because when we keep our eyes on the people, we miss the purpose, right?
Say that one more time and slow down, please.
When we put our eyes on the people, we miss the purpose that God has for us. And I need everybody on this line to understand you're so incredibly valuable. What God has placed in you, nobody can do it like you. Now, they may be able to do what you do, but they can't do it like you. The special sauce that you have has all the ingredients that are just for you. It's like, we don't know what's in that McDonald's special sauce, lettuce, cheese, on the Big Mac.
Sesame seed bun.
Right. We don't know what's on that, right? Though I haven't had one in years, but still, we don't know that. But what we do know, when I used to eat it, it was like something about that sauce. And I want you to know there's something about you that people are waiting for. I say this to my volunteers all the time. Listen, we are all, and I hope no one gets offended by this, we are all ordinary people doing extraordinary things just like them. And who's the them? The them is whoever has the stage that day. There is power in partnership in playing the role behind the scenes, right? I love to play support. Yes, I can sing. I mean, I'm not bragging about myself, but I've been singing since I was 4. Yes, I love to speak. Yes, I love production. But do you know, more than that, I love to empower women. But more than that, do you know I love being behind the scenes? If my personality wasn't such that everybody thrusts me in front of everybody, I love to give you a spot. Right? I love to put you on. I don't want to always be the person that's on. I thank God for it because it's necessary. But we've got to be willing to be on when we're not seen. And understand We're just as powerful when we're not seen as the person who is seen. And if we can take people off of pedestals and understand, listen, they put their pants leg on one at a time, just like you, and they're just as anointed, just like you, and they're just as powerful, just like you, and there's a word in your mouth, just like it is in theirs. It's just, where's your stage? That's the difference. Because we all have a stage to stand on. But when it's the doctor stage, I don't want to stand on the doctor stage because I don't know what the doctor does, but I know I need the doctor. I'll play the support role because I don't want to have anything mess up with me, right? If I'm the person that I need the plumber, I don't want to stand on the plumber's stage. I want to play the support role. My role is to call the plumber and say I have a need, right? All of us have a stage, and it's, if we can take everybody off the pedestal and understand they have a stage and what's my role to push them forward, God will open doors for you where when it's your stage, your area of expertise, he'll cause the people to come around you to push you forward. And we got to be ready for the push forward because he's pushing us forward and we're not ready. We're like, whoa, I've been there. We're like, no, wait. And God is saying there's no time to wait. I'll say this to everyone, that I say this to my clients all the time. How long will you make them wait? Who's the they? Every single person who is attached to you, from the moment you were born to the time that you died, God has already had a special assignment with people you're supposed to carry, people you're supposed to influence, people you're supposed to, if you are a believer, lead to salvation, people you're supposed to influence in your life. And the question becomes over and over again, how long will you make them wait? Will you make them wait because you're afraid? Will you make them wait because you feel like you don't have enough information? Will you make them wait with analysis paralysis? Been there, just really looking at something so much that you don't move. True, transparent story. My executive assistant reached out to me today, and there's some things we're supposed to be working on. And she literally told me, because I'm waiting on one thing, she literally told me, you know what? You're starting to aggravate me. Because you won't move on this one thing because you're waiting on this other thing. You know what I responded back to her? See, this is the power of partnership.
Come on.
I responded back to her, you know what? I'm annoying myself. Let's move, right? Sometimes you need someone to kick you in the pants to get you off the pot so that we'll go do what he wants us to do and stop making people wait.
Michelle, I want you to pause right there because I'm getting ready to acknowledge what we all know. This is... Let's go there. This is Black History Month. And y'all know I always say they gave us this month of February, but we know the power in us. Black History Month is 365 days out of the year. And I have got to acknowledge, Michelle, just came into my spirit, the Black Church PBS series going on by our dear friend. Oh, I love that man so much. Giving us teaspoons, what we need, doses, like gasoline doses of knowing who and what our history is. It's only been part 1 and part 2 on PBS. It's on YouTube, y'all. For if y'all don't have the PBS channel, I am telling you, here in Bella, this is my passion. Go and watch it over and over and over. If you gotta watch it 29 times, because there's so much food in that 1 and 2 episode, and y'all know he does top-notch work because everything that man does, it's researched, it's verified, it's 100% fact check. And I'm saying it to support Michelle. We have got to get it together, y'all. What do I mean by that? Get off our tufts. We all got gifts and talents inside. It's time to use it. This pandemic ain't no joke. Nobody has a crystal ball. We don't know how long it's going to be like it is the new normal. But listen to Michelle. Listen to your heart. We all got that drive inside of it. It's very, very important to talk about the power of couple. Although her better half is not here, Curtis, the power of couple transcends right, to any gender, transcends to any ethnicity. It transcends to all of us on this line right now. I see Robin David. Thank you very much. I'm going to shout her out. You know why? She's saying, Michelle, passion, information, and support. Michelle, I'm going to let the audience know we all are interconnected. I met Robin F. David, who I absolutely love, through Michelle supporting Michelle in one of her conferences in Tennessee. Did y'all hear me? Sometimes we got to get out of our own way and support each other. And I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute, Michelle.
No, you're fine.
Do not support each other as we should. We do not support each other as we could. Yes, I'm going there. It's very, very important to know people. And when you've got passionate people around you, you all know. Come on now. Let me talk for a minute or two. Y'all know what you know when you're around a not so good spirited person. And you know what you know when you know you're around a somebody positive person. Dig within. This pandemic ain't no joke. Take the time as we're almost moving into a year of it and say, you know what? What is God trying to say to me? What is God doing in my life? We believe in the power of Lord Savior Jesus Christ. Make no bones about it. Michelle and I pray together, stay together. We're mentors to each other. We're mentored. We play many, many roles. She's a soror. She's my soror. She's a daughter. I'm AK. That stuff don't matter. It's the core essence of what we talked about tonight. And I just wanted to take a minute because, Michelle, this is Black History Month, and it seems to be an epiphany for some people. Oh, my God, let's look at the wonderful things Black people are doing. No, we have always been doing wonderful things. And my question to you is, because I've been looking at it about an hour before we came on, right? I looked at the Black church once again. My question to you is, who are some of your Black history influencers and businesses and why?
Okay. So can I go back just for 1 second? You said something powerful. You said that we mentor each other, right? I really want people to hear that from this standpoint. There are times in the power of partnership where you are the push and times when you are the pull.
Come on.
And you have to know your role in every relationship. Is it time to push forward, to push that person forward? Or is it time for me to be pulled back? Is it time for me to push forward and them to push me? You've got to know your role. And what I love about the beautiful relationship that you and I have, that my husband and I have, and a couple others, is that we know how to submit to each other. And it's a beautiful word. Even throughout our history, the submission to the person who had the juice really has been what has helped us as a culture and a people to succeed. What if everybody was upset about, let's say, Muhammad Ali, right? What if everybody was upset that he was winning, right? What if we didn't support him because he talked a lot? That was his stage. That was his opportunity, right? And so for us, we've really got to understand that it's a push and pull relationship. Know where you stand and be willing to submit to the next person. And that means simply, I release my will or my desire for yours. Because you have something that you can tell me. You have something to show me. You have something where you can take me. And I believe even in our history, when you talk about different influences in our lives, there's so many for me to recount. But let me just stay in my sphere of speaking, okay? I have always loved, and this is probably going to sound cliche, but I'm really just going to say, I've always loved Oprah Winfrey's speech. There's so much that she's done. But for me, she influences me in the way that she speaks. She influences me in the way that she engages. She influences me in the way that she opens doors. Okay. So for me, it's like, oh, she's an actress. She's also written books. She's done this. That is all great and grand. But for me, she's been a fabric for me to watch her throughout the years in how she speaks. Someone else, Lisa Nichols. I love Lisa.
Yes.
Because now these are all, I can go back into the wells of who has influenced me as women out there. Gibson, all these different people who have, Dorothy Height. Oh my God, the day I got to sing for her, it was just like, whoa, what a dream come true to see this beautiful woman who was, definitely a sorority sister of mine and all that. And I got to stand before her and sing before her. It was like amazing. So I can go down the line vocally for her, right? CeCe Winans has always been to hang out with her, to speak for, or to sing around her, all of that, to be an advisor for her, Always Sisters college advisor group, all of that has all influenced me. I've been living Black history, right? God has afforded me the opportunity to be around a lot of these people and live it as they're doing it. But then you've got all these people who came before me. I can list all of them. But if you talk about who are the influences in my speaking career, I just gave you two, right?
Okay.
And then when you talk about like singing, I gave you two. So I think it's critical that we recognize who are our influences in the areas in which we serve.
Come on.
In which we lead, in which we build, in which we live, not diminishing anyone else. Like my political hat goes off to Auntie Maxine. Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. Because my father raised me. There's a Malcolm and a Martin inside of me. I'm always ready to move and pursue and do. She inspires me even to this day, right? Stacey Abrams. It's like there's so many current who you would call OGs with respect, right? And then all of these new who you would call becoming seasoned people who are doing amazing things. So I'm living Black history as I'm looking at Black history.
Really, that's good. That's good. That's good. Have you watched, I'm curious, have you seen any of the Black Church? I know we're all busy.
So here's the thing. My husband just told me this morning, we're going to watch it. So hopefully we'll be starting tomorrow. But what I have watched that blessed my heart was Regina King's One Night in Miami.
Oh, yes. Oh,
but
yes.
I was a little late to the party. I just sat down and I watched it. The conversation, it was kind of fictional, but based off of real stories too. Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X. The content of that movie to me was so riveting because you could see the struggles of them pulling us forward. You could see the fabric of what they were thinking, and that they knew that their moves were not only affecting them, but they were affecting us, whether it was in the ring, whether it was on the field playing football. And it was Sam Cooke's character that really blessed me, is that, after they got into this, I won't give it all away, this big disagreement, he wrote such an amazing song.
Yes.
Comment.
Out of that.
And he dies a year later. And Malcolm dies shortly after that. So it was like that night was so important for them, but it was equally important for us.
I love it. Yeah, listen. I gotta have you back. And it's always, my God, how the time flies when you're having fun. But I'm gonna do some recaps. I want Michelle to talk about her current projects. I want to make sure my audience sees, you guys know what I do. The ticker is showing all of her social media handles, but we do know and we do acknowledge this is Black History Month. And so we've got to acknowledge everybody. And I hope everybody's doing well out there. I want to do a shout out to let everyone know that I know Michelle and I and others are praying for all those folks in Texas. We know it got hit really hard over the last 48 hours. I pray that they are safe, warm, power comes back on, and they're not in harm's way. For those, I watch the Current News International all the time, and so I wanted to do that. It was in my spirit, Michelle. But as we start to close out and wrap up, I want to thank the audience. And Robin F. David, again, is absolutely right. She says, thank you for the show. It's absolutely wonderful because we've got to stick together. I wouldn't have known Robin if I not have known you, if I not have came to Tennessee, right? If I was not there to support and sow into your ministry with the Unstoppable Conference. I want you to talk a little bit about, thank you, Robin, for showing. She has been showing up each and every time. Robin, I love you, sister, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. BelaBiz Unplugged is really, really moving. But I want Michelle to talk about her current project, and I'm sure I'm going to have her back on the show. So, Michelle, what are we doing now, and where are we going?
So let me give a shout out, if I may, to Robin also, right? So Robin and I have known each other for a while. We both are from Ohio, and I had the pleasure and privilege to coach her when she was just getting started. So she's a coach on her own. She has an amazing story. She's doing amazing, great things now too. So I'm honored just that she didn't come out tonight. So we love you, Robin. What I am doing right now, I'm really, really excited about my new Unstoppable Success Academy. right? And so what it is for women. It is a membership, subscription membership event. And basically what happens is every single month you meet with me and I sow into you all of the answers that God gives me for you based on the problems that you are having and that you tell me. So we're dealing with personal stuff. We're dealing with self-development stuff. We're dealing with business stuff. We're dealing with women's stuff. We're dealing with everything that allows a woman to be fully connected so that she can live her greatest purposeful life. And we're having fun doing it. I'm bringing in special guests that'll come in using some of my celebrity influence and different things like that to make sure that I get to our women what they need. And so they'll have live video time with me. They'll also have e-courses with me. I'm using this beautiful platform that looks sort of like Netflix. So you can go in, you can do your coursework, and it's like Netflix. It's just beautiful and surrounding, and all the videos are great. So we look forward to rolling that out in May. And it is just one of the things what we're doing just to connect this year. It's a big
Michelle, we want to get involved. How would the audience get involved with that?
So basically, if you go to my website, you can find unstoppableconnection.com. You'll be able to find where you can sign up for our newsletter, and you'll be able to hear more from there. You could also, if you're interested in getting coached by me, or at least saying like, hey, I'm stuck, can you just help me? I'd love to do a discovery call. And so all you have to do is go on my Coach With Me page of Unstoppable Connection, click on there, click the complimentary discovery call, and we'll set one up for you. I'll talk to you, and we'll see what you need. And I definitely, the way that God works with me is I am a vision and innovative strategist. It is, and I don't say this to brag, but it is so heavy on me that I sometimes have to ask God to stop because I can hear you, and in a minute I can tell you what God is saying, or to try this, do this, and it just happens. So I would love to do that for some people. And then also on my site, if you want something free from me, I do have at the bottom of my first page, unstoppableconnection.com, you can also get some freebies. There are 4 different resources out there. One, how to get rid of broken focus, how to turn determination into passion, all this different things. So you can get 4 of those down there. And then finally, reach out to me, join me on Facebook. We have a Facebook closed group called the Unstoppable Connection. And that's where we're doing a lot of powerful work out there. I give a lot of free seminars and things like that. So come join the connection. We'd love to have you and hear what God is saying through you.
Now, Michelle, I got to interject because I got to take the floor for a second, because she does not like to talk a lot about herself, but she does. What's going on with the Unstoppable Conference? Because I know we're 2 years in. What's up with that, lady?
I'm really excited about this because our conference date is September 25th, 2021. So that is on the books. It is going to be live and virtual. We are absolutely in a place where we're going to be able to have more live people come in. And this year, our theme is running in stilettos.
Oh, yeah, I like that. All right.
So I'm excited about where we're going. We're going to be having a spoken word mic night, and we're actually bringing in other special guests. There is a health and wellness component. There is a financial wellness component. And then plus on the main day, you know, I do my Women of the Year awards. And so we'll be opening that up for people to suggest people in the areas of entertainment, education, ministry, business, in every area. So we've got like 8 areas that we do. And so I'm excited about it too.
So people need to follow you. Again, it's going to be at some point in time hosted on your Unstoppable website. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm putting not a shameless plug. I'm putting a good plug. Y'all got to follow my girl. You know, I got to contain myself because she's a real deal. Been with Michelle for a minute. I try to sit back and be quiet, but she's the real deal, y'all. Follow her website, unstoppableconnection.com. I'm telling you, it is all that and a whole caseload bag of chips. Okay, Michelle, any last parting words that you want to leave just in general? I have a diverse group of people, and as you all know, the replay is going to be fire. Anything you want to share as we go in this Black History Month and continue, since today is Thursday, February 18th?
Yes. Well, let me just say this. I would love to connect at the connection. Unstoppable Connection. Start there, right? Go on Facebook, look up unstoppable connection, and I will approve you to come in because I want to be able to welcome you. Okay, so that would be one. The other thing is, I just want everyone to really realize there's so much power in your connections. Ask God now, which connections do you need to keep? Which ones do you need to move away from in this season, this first quarter, this first week, by tomorrow? Because there are some that you need to reach out to that you haven't yet, and there are some that you need to let go that can't go into Monday. The power of partnership will allow you to have greater credibility, greater intense opportunities, greater doors will open for you when we're in the right space. So maximize the partnership and don't leave God out of it.
Wow. Listen, y'all know it. Y'all, I'm going to answer the question. Yes, we will have Michelle, perhaps her other half, but is she not a powerhouse by herself? Come on, y'all. Y'all got the, I say, Meichelle Gibson inside of you. Listen, I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight and joining me. Please keep watching Bela because Bella's on the move. Bela Unplugged is doing some amazing things. How about this? Differently. Y'all got to catch me if y'all can. Right now, I want to do a shout out to Michelle Walker Davis once again. Michelle, thank you so much for, can I say it, being my sponsor. Me and Michelle was talking behind stage, right? And she gave me some wisdom. So here we go. Hey, y'all, we need y'all to invest in the BelaBiz Unplugged movement. Because without your investment, I can't keep this thing going. And y'all know what I mean. But Michelle Walker Davis with, I tell you, Imperial Management Group Consulting, thank you so much for believing in me and being my sponsor. I wouldn't have this show without you. So please, I want you all at some point in time to check out IMG. Hey, it's been a real pleasure. Michelle, you know I got nothing but mad love for you. During this pandemic, be safe, my sister. Be quiet. Take care. God bless. I love you. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Good night.